When Lies of P dropped in September 2023, everyone started calling it Bloodborne 2 or Bloodborne on PC. And honestly, you can see why. Both games share that gothic atmosphere, aggressive combat, and that special brand of punishment that makes you question your life choices. But here's the thing, after spending countless hours dying in both games, I can tell you they're actually quite different beasts. So let's break down what makes each of these games special, where they excel, and which one deserves your time.
We started with the setting naturally. It's why both titles are set in the same place and immediately strike you to the ground. Bloodborne whisks you away to Yharnam, a Victorian Gothic metropolis, which is basically a nightmare version of Jack the Ripper era London, amped up to 11. Gothic revival is the sole style of the cityscape, with soaring basilicas, skinny stone-paved alleys, and an all-encompassing aroma of rot. Yharnam's singularity is in being Lovecraftian cosmic horror incarnate. In its zenith, the town thrived on blood ministration, a process of healing using a rare blood buried in old crypts. Of course, the so-called cure turned people into monsters, and everything fell into chaos. The level design in Bloodborne is well known for being incredibly interconnected, much more so in central Yharnam. You'll find shortcuts that will circle you back around to where you just were, thinking, wait, I am here. The intricate planning of underground irrigation systems, overhanging stone bridges, and secret walkways results in the huge raid-grade city that is strangely real-looking. And the cherry on the cake, sections you will explore in the future are visible from the start, providing you with these tempting peeps of the future. Now, Lies of P takes a different approach. Set in the Belle Epoque era, that's late 19th to early 20th century Europe, the city of Kratz mixes Victorian Gothic with steampunk aesthetics. Think elegant Parisian boulevards meets mechanical nightmares. The game captures what developers called the duality of the Belle Epoque, the prosperity and artistic flourishing on one side and the cheap labor and poverty on the other. Instead of beasts, you're fighting rogue puppets, clockwork automatons that were supposed to serve humanity, but went on a murder spree called the Puppet Frenzy. The big difference? Lies of P is much more linear than Bloodborne. While it has shortcuts within individual levels, you can't loop back to earlier areas in the same organic way. Some fans see this as a limitation, but others argue it was a deliberate design choice to create a more focused, narrative-driven experience. The locations you visit, like the Opera House, the Factory, and the stunning Belle Epoque arcades, are gorgeous and detailed, but are basically moving forward through chapters rather than exploring one massive, interconnected world.
Here's where things get really interesting, because while everyone compares these games, their combat systems are actually quite different at their core. Bloodborne wants you to be aggressive, like really aggressive. The game literally has a mechanic called Rally that rewards you for immediately attacking after taking damage. Get hit, don't back off and heal, rush in and hit back to regain that lost health. You've got about 5 seconds to recover health by attacking, and heavy attacks restore more than light ones. Bloodborne ditched shields almost entirely and gave you guns instead, primarily for parrying. The combat is fast, fluid, and all about maintaining momentum. Your weapons can transform mid-combat. These trick weapons give you 2 different movesets in one. And while some people argue that Bloodborne's combat encourages defensive play more than people realize, the core philosophy is clear. Hesitation means death. Lies of P takes inspiration from Bloodborne, but adds its own twist, borrowing heavily from Sekiro. The big difference? Perfect guards. Instead of just dodging or taking reduced damage, you're encouraged to time your blots perfectly. Hit that guard button at the exact moment an enemy attack connects, and you'll negate all damage, save stamina, and stagger the enemy for a counterattack. There's even a guard regain system similar to Bloodborne's Rally. When you block and take reduced damage, you can recover that health by attacking. But here's the kicker. Lies of P has fury attacks. Attacks where enemies glow red. You can't dodge these and you can't just block them. The only way to deal with them is a perfect guard. This makes the combat feel more like a rhythm game at times, where you're learning precise timings for each boss's attack patterns. Some love this, some find it exhausting, but it definitely creates a different flow than Bloodborne's aggressive dance. The weapon system in Lies of P is genuinely innovative. Most weapons split into two parts, blade and handle, and you can mix and match them freely. Want to put a giant electric circular saw blade on a dagger handle? Go for it! This changes attack patterns, speeds, and abilities, giving you insane customization without requiring a full respec. You could even alter handles to change stat scaling. It's a level of weapon experimentation that Bloodborne doesn't offer.
Both games live and die by their bosses, and boy do they deliver. Bloodborne's boss roster is legendary. You've got the Clary Beast as this massive introduction to beast-type bosses, Father Gascoigne, who teaches you about hunter-type enemies, and later cosmic horrors like Ebutais, Ram, and the Moon Present. The boss designs often reflect the game's themes. You start finding beasts and hunters, but as you pierce the cosmic dale, you face increasingly alien entities. Lady Maria, Ludwig, and the Orphan of Kost from the DLC are considered some of From Software's finest work. Lies of P doesn't hold back either. The Parade Master kicks things up as a genuine skill check. The Scrapped Watchman forces you to learn perfect guards, and bosses like King's Flame Fueco, Lexasia the Complete, and the Nameless Puppet provide some genuinely brutal challenges. The enemy and boss design strike a balance between whimsical and terrifying. You're fighting puppet clowns one moment and grotesque biomechanical nightmares the next. Difficulty-wise, Lies of P might actually be harder than Bloodborne for many players. The reliance on perfect guards, especially for fury attacks, creates a steeper learning curve. Bosses like the Green Monster of the Swamp and Awakened God can be absolutely punishing. But here's the thing, Bloodborne's difficulty comes from different places. The Blood Vial system means you can run out of healing items and lead to far more, which adds a frustrating grind element that Lies of P avoids with its Pulse Cell system that gradually replenishes as you attack enemies. Bloodborne offers multiple playthroughs through NG Plus cycles, Chalice Dungeons for randomized content, and the Old Hunters DLC, which many consider essential. The world is large enough that subsequent playthroughs can feel fresh, especially if you try different builds. However, some players find it gets more stressful than fun on repeated runs. Lies of P, being newer and more linear, has less content overall. However, the weapon customization system encourages experimentation on replays. The 3 different endings require different choices, giving you reasons to play through multiple times. And here's the big news. The game's first DLC, Lies of P Overture, is launched in July with new locations, new weapon types including bows and claws, and the return of beloved characters. A full sequel is also confirmed to be a development. And honestly, you don't have to choose. Play both. Bloodborne will teach you aggressive combat and reward exploration. Lies of P will test your parrying, timing, and weapon experimentation. Both will kill you repeatedly until you master their systems. Both will make you feel like an absolute champion when you finally overcome that boss that's been destroying you for hours. The real winner here is us, the players. We get Bloodborne, one of the greatest games ever made, and we get Lies of P, proof that other studios can learn from Software and create something genuinely special. With Lies of P's DLC released and a sequel in development, the future looks bright for fans of gothic horror action RPGs.